DFA fam, what is up? What is happening? We are back. It is week 7, Sunday, right before lock. So try to get all your questions answered to get you the best possible lineup so we can get some W's today. Or, if you play DFS, win some money, whichever. So, you have the two DFS people
Both.
on the show. So, hopefully we won't talk too much about DFS. But if there is any questions, we're here for that as well. Cody is a little hungover. I think he was drowning his sorrows after Penn State lost to Ohio State yesterday, 20-12. I watched most of that game, and I don't know what Penn State was doing for some of that. Just ultra conservative play calling. Anyways, so I think he is under the weather because we got the Gatorade, Powerade, Life Water. Rank them for curing my hangover. Bonus points for naming your favorite flavor.
Oh, it's blue Gatorade. It's easy. That is the 1-1.
Which blue though? Like the light blue or the
light blue?
Yes, I think it's Glacier Freeze or something.
Yes, the Glacier Freeze Gatorade is the goat.
100%. And then Powerade. I don't mess with Powerade.
I don't really drink Powerade either.
Yeah, but
I do like the blue Powerade too, though.
And then Life Water.
I don't honestly. I've never had Life Water.
I can't say I have either. I'm more of a I like Smart Water. Pretty good. It's fine. Fiji water, obviously, is really
where he messed up was not drinking Pedialyte before he went to bed.
Yeah, you drink Pedialyte, pop 4 or 5 ibuprofen.
Yeah, and pass out and eat something. You gotta eat something too, so that the food soaks up all the alcohol that's sitting in there.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get to the other questions here, Cody. Just sleep it off, man. That's all you got to do. Sleep it off. Drink a lot of fluids. I can't do it. That's why I don't drink anymore, because I can't stand hangovers, and like being hungover for 2 days is like not something I'm into.
It's the worst.
Yeah, so it's not for me. So that's why I don't drink anymore. So, and I'm also, not that young anymore. I did all that in my 20s. So, so when I say how old I am, people are like, "No way, you're that young." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I'm not as old as people think." I think it's because the gray, the gray and the beard, and they're like,
True.
They think I'm in my 40s, and I'm not. So, anyways, I need a full flex PPR: Drake London, Zay Flowers, or Deontay Johnson.
I like Zay.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I have this pulled up already? Yeah, I'm gonna go Zay Flowers as well. Yeah, I agree. All right. Also, I got Zach Moss, Javonte, Hunt, or Foreman for RB2. All my RBs on bye. Yep, join the club. It is 6 teams on bye this week, so you really have to get a little gross on this one for this week. Like one of my leagues, I'm starting Latavius Murray, and I hate myself.
Oh, geez, that's rough. You should try to go pick up Royce Freeman or something. I like Foreman out of this list. I do like Javonte as well as a close second, but the Broncos they're going to use all 3 running backs. So Foreman's going to be the only guy in Chicago, and he could run for 100 yards and get a score. So I'll say Foreman.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I think he makes the most sense. We know he's going to get, at least the majority of the work. I think Homer is back, so he's probably going to get some of the pass catching work.
Yeah.
So that makes him a little bit more less attractive, but it still should be a matchup. Brian Hoyer versus old Teabag there for the Bears. And so it feels like a really gross game where the teams are going to be running the ball a lot.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I mean, 20 touches probably against the Raiders, right? 20 carries.
Yeah.
I would assume against the Raiders. So, and he had what, 5 games over 100 rush yards last year for the Panthers. So, I mean, he's got the ability to do it.
For sure. Yeah. TX, Pickens, Foreman, or Elijah Mitchell. So it sounds like Christian McCaffrey's going to play. Yep. He practiced yesterday, so that's really positive. So I'm not playing any of the 49ers. Like if you were desperate and had to play Elijah Mitchell, like I could see where they don't give him as big of a workload as what we've seen from him as of recently, because I don't know if they really need it against the Vikings, but I just feel like that he may not see as big of a workload, but him playing, like, it lowers my excitement for playing Elijah Mitchell. So it comes down to Pickens and Foreman here. Pickens is in a good spot. He is so the Rams are a heavy zone team. Pickens is the leader of this team and against zone coverage. he's not like elite against zone coverage. He's like top 30 against zone coverage, yards per out run rate against zone this year. And obviously, we don't have a big sample size of Deontay Johnson, considering he only played half a game, the week one. So there's not that big sample there between them. But I still think I would lean Foreman just based on the touch volume that's going to be.
Agree.
And then TX again, Addison or God. This is Godwin. I'm
Godwin.
Chris Godwin this week. So it is Godwin for me in this matchup. And then need to in PPR out of JT, Javante, and Kendrick Bourne with Juju out again.
I'll go JT and Bourne here, actually.
I'm gonna go JT and Javante. I don't mind Kendrick Bourne. It's just his usage has been all over the place, and so it's he's always tough to trust. Also, weather in that Patriots game. Last I saw, there's like 20-mile-an-hour winds expected in that game, with 40-mile-an-hour gusts, and so it worries me a little bit with that matchup. And them actually, because if we remember, this happened was it last year? Or was the year before? It's not going to be as bad. That was like sub,
Yeah.
temperatures. I think it was like 30-mile-an-hour winds with like 50-mile-an-hour gusts. Like it's not gonna be that bad. But I kind of low key like JT this week against the Browns because
I agree.
their numbers, like they haven't. Their schedule has been pretty soft. I know they played the 49ers last week, but outside of the 49ers, and if you look, like just teams haven't really committed to running the ball against them, but they've been successful at it. So I'm not that worried about JT this week.
Well, on the flip side too, like Indy's been really good at like running on everybody. Like Moss crushed Tennessee, which is a spot you never play running backs against. And there was another tough run defense that they played. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've had a couple tough rushing matchups where Zach Moss, who is not as good as JT, has done really well. Obviously, you have to worry about Moss still getting touches, but I think it's going to continue to slide in JT's favor, considering they just gave him a $42 million contract. So yeah, I agree. I think I wouldn't really worry as much with the Indy run game against who they're playing, because they've shown that he can do it against anybody. So yeah, I like JT for sure, and then I'm good with Javante over Bourne. If the wind is really is going to be that high. I hadn't looked at that. So, and the Patriots offense has just been abysmal anyways the last couple of weeks.
Okay, so it looks like it changed a little bit from when I saw yesterday. It's sustained winds of 10 to 15, gusts 20-25. So that's not really.
It's still a little high, but it's definitely not high enough to get you like completely off that game.
The two games that are
Washington, right, is one of them.
Washington sustained winds 15 to 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And wind gusts around 20 to 30. And then Detroit and Baltimore is 15 to 20, gust to 25 to 30. And that's
yes. So it's both of those are being played in the one's in New York actually, but that's still the Northeast. I mean, the New England game is the same. So it's all those Northeast games.
Yeah. All right. Noel, start 3. London, Deontay, Palmer, Judy, JSN if DK is out. I think DK plays, but full PPR.
I will say London, Palmer, Judy, and then if DK's ruled out, I'd play JSN over Judy.
I agree. I think that's what I would do too. Purdy or Howe?
Purdy.
Yeah, I agree. And then Godwin, Christian Watson, or Jordan Addison, half point PPR. I'm going to go Godwin.
I'm going Godwin here as well.
Connor, pick one PPR. Jeff Wilson, Rashee Rice, or Josh Palmer?
Palmer.
I'm going to go with Rice here. I don't mind. Like, Palmer has not been very good against man coverage this year. He is like 63rd in receiving grade against zone cover or against man coverage. Excuse me. The Chiefs are in the top 10 of man against man or running man coverage this year. And so we aren't worried about Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen absolutely annihilates man coverage.
Yep.
And so I'm a little hesitant on Palmer. And so I do like Rashee Rice this week. McCole Hardman is supposed to play today, but they're down to 6 wide receivers because not just with losing Justin Watson, but also what's his name? The wide receiver from the Giants that they brought in, Richie James. He's also on IR, so they're down to 6 wide receivers, which they previously were at 7. So it should help a little things a little bit. And I don't expect McCole Hardman to play, a ton of snaps today since he's his first time in, but he knows this offense. But I would expect he's probably come in around 25, 30% of the snaps, something like that. So, but I do like Rashee Rice a lot. And then should I start Godwin over DK in case he doesn't play? I only have Judy at 120. Okay.
Yes, Godwin.
Yeah, I think I just roll with Godwin and not worry about what's going to happen with DK.
Yep.
Would you guys move Godwin, Elijah Mitchell, and Foreman for Jacobs? Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think Foreman falls back into the RB2 role whenever Roshan Johnson gets cleared.
I mean, that's kind of scary that he hasn't. I mean, he's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. But even still, you're talking about it's been a couple of weeks already. Khalil Herbert can come back in a few more weeks. And so, yes, Foreman only has a very part-time role. Elijah Mitchell obviously has no role when Christian McCaffrey's healthy. And I believe after week 8 is whenever the 49ers go on bye. And then Godwin, I think has been fine.
And even if McCaffrey gets hurt, Jordan Mason showed that he can definitely steal some work in that backfield too. So
yeah, and Jacobs, his role is absolutely elite.
Right. Yeah. So you're pretty much trading Godwin for Jacobs there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would do it.
Jonnu or Michael Mayer?
Jonnu because of Hoyer playing. Otherwise, I would say Mayer. I don't know. Jonnu's actually been pretty good this year, low key.
He really has. Jonnu has been really good. And again, something a theme of today of talking about the certain coverages teams play. This is a great spot. Jonnu Smith is actually not just among tight ends, but among all pass catchers is top 4 in yards per route run against zone coverage this year. That's where he has smashed his zone. And so I just love this spot for Jonnu today. So I'm playing a lot of them in DFS, and if I have him, I'm going to play him. I know Michael Mayer has started to emerge as the number 1 tight end, which he should have been, their second round pick. But I'm leaning into Jonnu the end this week in this matchup against the Bucs. So, and we've also started to see the Falcons throw the ball at a much higher rate than what I think people were expecting. So, Ashton needs 2 running backs: Foreman, Reynolds, Elijah Mitchell, and Warren. I'm going to go Foreman and Warren.
Agree.
Michael Brown, pick 2, Lockett, Flowers, or Addison, PPR.
First 2, Lockett, Flowers.
I agree. Non-PPR from Joe, pick 2, Foreman, Jeff Wilson, Warren, Mitchell. I have CMC.
Foreman, Warren, again.
Yeah, it makes me a little less excited for Warren whenever it's a non-PPR, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect at all from Jeff Wilson in his role.
And it's a rough matchup versus Philly on the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
I expect Miami to just throw a ton.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that still makes the most sense to go those 2. Glock guy, 56. Leave CMC in or Gibbs in his spot.
It sounds like CMC is going to play, and so that you have to play CMC.
Yeah, I mean, he said all week that he is playing and that he doesn't need practice, and that I think he told Kyle Shanahan to not take him out of the offense or for the game planning that he expects to play. So, and he returned to practice yesterday, so that's about as good of a sign you can get for Saturday. So I fully expect CMC to play. I mean, if not, maybe if like Jordan Mason's sitting out there, maybe you could add him or something like that just in case. But if not, I still think CMC plays.
Agree.
Shane, pick a Rams running back to start. You have to pick one. Evans, Henderson, or Freeman.
I actually think this is pretty easy. I think it's Royce. Because Royce has been on the team. He's in football shape. Henderson's been on the couch, and yes, he knows the offense, but he's not in football shape. He's still going to be getting acclimated to getting his legs under him. And Evans, if they were going to give Evans a big role, they would have just done it.
And I will say this too. So we got a report late last night or early this morning from Adam Schefter that basically sources within the Rams, and this is obviously said that it's going to be Royce Freeman uh, and Freeman.
And
Yeah, Royce
Henderson.
Freeman and Henderson. Sorry,
Yeah.
they're going to be the guys. They're going to handle the majority of the work. And it does not sound like they trust Zach Evans, which makes sense because that's what they've showed us.
6th-round rookie.
You know, they have done nothing to prove that they like Zach Evans, and so he came up, I think, the last couple of weeks, but all he played was special teams, and so
Yeah.
and then I think it tells you the fact that they went out and signed and brought in 2 other running backs this week as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
It tells you that they don't really much care for Zach Evans. So all these people went out and picked up Zach Evans. Now, could be wrong. Sure, I'm not going to sit here and say it's 100%, but every single sign leads to. And I mean, McVay has talked highly of Darrell Henderson all week, and how much he trusts him and everything else. And so I don't think it's going to be Zach Evans. So if I had to pick, maybe Freeman this week, just because, like you said, he does know the offense. He's going to be in much better shape than what Darrell Henderson's going to be, considering he's been sitting around for a couple of weeks. But yeah, I just think that I think that makes the most sense. So I guess I would lean Freeman, but followed up by Henderson is the way I would look at it. But I don't have any interest in Zach Evans at all.
I agree, 100%.
And I feel bad, the people that went out and waited. It feels like almost like the Amari DiMercado move from last week, where everybody went and picked him up, and it actually ended up being somebody different. So, Michael Brown, Cousins or Goff?
Goff. Ugh. Those are rough matchups. I'll go Goff. If Cousins had Jefferson, it would be him, and it's also Cousins in prime time, so you have to factor that in.
I feel like he's played better though in prime time recently. I mean, he played really well against the Eagles, at least fantasy wise. He was good. Now, obviously, they had Justin Jefferson at the time. They don't now.
Yep, they don't have J. Jeff.
The weather concerns me some here with Jared Goff.
The thing with Goff is he doesn't really have to rely on deep throws down the field, which is where the weather kind of comes into play. Like he can just keep ripping them over and over to Amon-Ra and Laporta over the middle, and dump offs to Gibbs. I think Goff can get there, and it's, I think it's a better matchup because, like we talked about on the DFS pod, right? Baltimore hasn't played anybody yet. They're similar to Cleveland, so.
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with that. I have them really close to my rankings, so it's I have them neck and neck. So yeah, if you want to go Goff, I'm fine with that. And then Waller or Laporta, I'm gonna go Waller.
I'm gonna go Waller here as well.
Yeah, okay, especially with Tyrod. Like all week it was this conversation of was Daniel Jones hasn't been cleared for contact yet, like, and he hasn't all week. But
the guy's lucky his neck's still attached to his body.
Yeah, you should probably take this one a little bit easy, especially with where they're at. It's not like they're like in the playoff chase.
I know.
Like that. Not good at fantasy. D-Hop, Deontay, or Reishi rest of season. I think rest of season, I think I lean Deontay. Just because I know what his role is secured. Though I love Reishi Rice. He would be second for me.
Yeah, but I was looking up Deontay just for like today's purposes. Like his games with Pickett last year. Deontay, he was like around like 8 to 10 points like every game. He never had a ceiling game. It was always like, gonna get you 8 to 10, and that's pretty much it. Because he never
it's because he didn't score any touchdowns.
Never scored any touchdowns. It was always like 5 catches for 50 yards every single game. So you know what you're going to get there. At least the other two guys have a little bit more of a ceiling. How long Traylon Burks is out for a while, isn't he? I can't remember.
I don't think he's out for a while.
Is it just a week or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, D-Hop has shown that in good matchups he can do it.
What you have to hope for is DeAndre Hopkins gets traded.
Which is possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like Rishi. I think his role is going to continue to increase. I mean, it has been increasing, and he's clearly the best receiver on that team. So
you want to hear a crazy stat that I saw yesterday? So for Andy Reid, 24 years of coaching, there's been he has had 156 wide receivers. Only 5% of them have produced a 1,000-yard season.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
In 24 years. But, I mean, and obviously 2 of those were Tyreek and Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
And I think the other probably would have been, I guess, probably Deshaun Jackson. He had to have.
Had to
Maybe,
have been.
and Jeremy Maclin with the
Yeah,
Eagles.
Maclin.
But since being with the Chiefs, outside of Tyreek, I don't think there's been anybody. Not counting obviously Travis Kelce because he's not, he's not a wide receiver, he's tight end. But so I don't know. I just thought that was interesting when I saw that. Anyways, Ashton, 2 flex spots: Godwin, London, Watson, or Puka. I'm gonna go with Godwin and Puka.
Agree.
Though I am lower, I will say, on Godwin than probably most consensus is because of the Steelers play man coverage at a top 5 rate in the league, and Puka has not. His usage drops from 31% target share against zone coverage down to 18% against man coverage. It's been basically Cooper Kupp since in the 2 games he's come back has had a 50% target share against man, but then Tutu Atwell has actually been the number 2 wide receiver in terms of target share against man coverage this year. So it has not been Puka. So I am a little bit lower on Puka than I think most people. But with the options you have here, I think it's Godwin and Puka still. So
Yep.
Not good at fantasy start. JT or Foreman. This is JT for me.
JT.
ET, happy week 7. Happy week 7 to you, ET. Hoping I can continue holding on to that number 1 spot
Let's
in my
go.
league. Keep it moving. Freeman or McLaughlin? I think I'm going to go with McLaughlin just because I know what his role is going to be. I cannot confidently say there, Paul, that it's going to be Freeman. Like, I think it makes the most sense for it to be Freeman, but I also wouldn't shock me if it ended up being Henderson and a larger role, stuff like that. So I'm going to lean McLaughlin.
Yeah, I'm going to go McLaughlin here too.
Full PPR. Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers need to start 1 at wide receiver and flex. The other already played. Olave this week. I also have Jahmyr Gibbs that I could flex. My starting running backs are Bijan and Eckler. Good for you. So at wide receiver, I'm going Cooper.
I would almost sit Bijan here and play Amari at receiver, Gibbs at running back, and Flowers in the flex. So it comes down to Flowers versus Bijan for me. I definitely like Gibbs over Bijan at the RB spot, and I definitely like Cooper over Flowers at the wide receiver spot. So then it comes down to Bijan in the flex or Flowers in the flex, if I'm reading this right. So I almost side with Zay if it's full PPR, which it is.
I'm just going to sit Zay and go Amari and then Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm good with that too. I think Bijan and Zay is a coin toss, a coin flip. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Raylan, hey guys, happy football Sunday to you, Raylan. And then, like the stream, guys, if you haven't, and subscribe. I totally appreciate that. And yes, if you can, it helps us out a lot. Just hitting that little like button, and then if you're not already, hitting subscribe. We have eclipsed 5K subs this past week, so we are moving on. Next goal, obviously, is 6K. So, yes, we appreciate everybody rocking with us and joining us and helping us out to grow. So. McGuire outdoors, Gibbs, Ayuk, or Bijan, Goddard, or Laporta.
Ayuk and Goddard.
Interesting. Oh, man. I'm still going to go Bijan just because of his role, his pass catching upside. I love Ayuk this week. McGuire, who else are you starting that you can't start all these guys? Like, what does the rest of your team look like? Because I have to know. Because you having to make
Debo's going to be out, so that's big for Ayuk and Kittle. Whenever one of those 3 misses, the other 2 usually smash.
Oh, for sure. I love it. I mean,
it's against Minnesota. Yeah.
And then it's going to be Goddard for me at tight end.
Yep.
But yeah, McGuire, if you can, let us know. And I'll keep an eye on it. So I can keep it on the chat. See if you let it. Why can't we start the others? Because I would definitely want to play Ayuk if I can. Like I said, I have him as a top 10 wide receiver this week.
Kareem Hunt is active, by the way. He was looking doubtful, but he's playing. Deshaun's playing too, as expected.
Yeah, and then all signs point to Christian McCaffrey playing Monday night. Murdoch, Lockett or Moore?
Lockett.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lockett. Warren or Henderson? I'm gonna go Warren.
Warren.
Drop Roschon and stash Lenny. No, I don't think.
No.
I don't think Lenny's gonna play this year. Like, I just don't. Like, if he was going to, like, I know there was like some news that he might, like, for some reason that he was going to try out for the or work out for the Bills, and that somehow got canceled. Like, I have no interest in Leonard Fournette. Like, if he still had anything left, I think he would have been signed by now. All the injuries we've seen the running back position this year, and all the players that you could have brought back, and he's still just sitting out there. I just think he's dust, and so I have no interest whatsoever in Leonard Fournette. Raylan flex PPR flex Palmer or JSN. I'm gonna go Palmer here.
I'm gonna go. So they both. The nice thing is they play at the same time. Palmer, unless DK's out, then I would say JSN.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's yeah, fair point. Emilio, Purdy or Wilson? I'm gonna go Purdy.
Purdy.
And need a tight end replacement for Freiermuth on IR. Ertz, Higbee, Logan Thomas, and full PPR.
Logan Thomas this week.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody like Luke Musgrave is not sitting out there, that's the guy. I'm just saying that name because of the options that you're throwing out
or
there.
Or Jonnu. Maybe Jonnu's out there. I don't know.
Or Jonnu. Yeah, both. I have both of those as top 12 tight ends this week. But if not, Logan Thomas would be the guy I would go with against the Giants. But if either one of those are sitting out there, I'd rather have either one of them, and I would lean Musgrave over Jonnu in that order, just to clarify. Paul again, KJ Osborne or Curtis Samuel flex. Curtis Samuel.
Yep, agree. Curtis Samuel.
Raylan PPR start AJ Dillon, Kareem Hunt, Singletary, or one of the Rams. Well, you can't play Singletary because they're on bye. So
man, Hunt's active, but it's really sounded like he was closer to doubtful. So I just wonder, how much work he's going to get. Like, I'll say Royce Freeman, as terrible as that sounds.
I'm going to go with AJ Dillon because there's still a chance. We haven't gotten AJ, or that one, we should mention that Aaron Jones hasn't been cleared yet, or hasn't been listed as active.
If Aaron Jones was out, it's 100% Dillon. It's not even close.
And you're going to have that ability to know because I would just not play Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
I still think, though, AJ Dillon actually looked like a running back last week, the last time they played before their bye.
It is a really good matchup also.
And it's a great matchup. Yeah. I could still see where he gets the goal line work and they work Aaron Jones in, especially with him. He's dealt with this injury. So I think I would still lean AJ Dillon.
I'm good with that.
Ashton, Jeff Wilson, or Craig Reynolds? I'm going to go Craig Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds, I guess. Hopefully he lucks into a touchdown. They do like Craig Reynolds. Like the Lions, the coaching staff loves him.
Zach, Jordan Love or Deshaun Watson?
This is going to be Deshaun for me.
It's tough. I think I go Jordan Love, and I hate myself for it. But like, as a fantasy producer, Jordan Love has been pretty solid this year. Like, he's done a decent job for the most part. I know the last time they played against the Raiders, he wasn't as great because he 3 interceptions, no touchdowns in that game, only 8. But prior to that, he has put up 20 fantasy points in every single game. Prior to that start,
Watson was crushing too before he got hurt, and now he gets the Colts.
Yeah, which they have a great matchup. I mean, no doubt. Like Deshaun Watson at 2 top 10 weeks. He was week 10 against Tennessee, QB 5 against Cincinnati week 1. So yes, I think they're both really great plays. I think Watson's probably safer. And then I would say Jordan Love could possibly have the higher ceiling just because of the matchup against Denver. But I don't know. So that's the way I would lean it. If you want to go Watson, totally get it. All right, Graham, PPR flex. And appreciate the super chat, by the way. I really do appreciate that. Any super chats we get, much appreciated. Graham, PPR flex, DJ Moore, Devonta Smith, or Lockett.
Lockett.
I'm gonna go Devonta Smith, and like he has to break out at some point.
He's playing, right? Because I
Who?
saw he was questionable. I think he returned to practice.
Yeah, Devonta Smith's playing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Devonta Smith. I have him ranked the highest. I have Devonta Smith at 12 among wide receivers.
Unless, so it's nice to, well, here we go again. It's nice that these are all late options. Well, except DJ Moore, but you're not playing DJ Moore here. If DK were to be rolled out, it'd be Lockett for me. I do like Smith against Miami. They're going to have to keep up with that offense because Philly's pass D has actually been really bad this year. So I'm expecting Miami to put up points. So I think Philly's going to have to throw.
I do agree with that. If DK Metcalf were to be rolled out, because right now I have Lockett at 17, but that's with the thought of Metcalf playing. I have Metcalf at, I think, 11 right now, wide receiver 11 in my ranking. So if he were to be ruled out, then 100% you just roll Tyler Lockett. And obviously you're going to be able to know that. And you have a great option in case that doesn't happen to go to Devonta Smith. So big trust. Puka or Hollywood?
Hollywood.
And I agree. I'm going to go Hollywood. And then pick 2, Warren, Foreman, or Royce Freeman. Or pick up waiver, pick up Wandale, Bourne, or any other players that would be rostered in a 12-team league. I'm going to go Wandale.
Yep. And Foreman.
Foreman.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Raylan, pick PPR, pick Zay Flowers, Godwin, or DJ Moore. This is going to be Godwin. GV, Elijah Mitchell, Zeke, or Craig Reynolds.
Craig.
Yeah, I agree on that. Half point PPR. Yes, it's still Craig. Not good at fantasy, Laporta or Mark Andrews. I'm going Mark Andrews. Drew Teller, need a quarterback. Who are you starting? Geno, Love, or Watson? I'm going to go Geno.
Watson.
Love that, but okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Geno. I'm stuck between Rashad White or Jalen Warren. Much as I don't like it, I'm still going to go with Rashad White because he's the
only guy they're playing. So yeah.
Drew Teller, need a flex. Brian Robinson, Osborne, Stevenson, or Pickens. I'm going Brian Robinson.
B-Rob.
SJM over on Twitch. Lockett or DJ Moore. This is going to be Lockett. Michael Hosh, Pittman or Flowers, PPR?
It's the first Pittman question we've had. I'll go Flowers. Pittman against Cleveland. I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Flowers. I don't know. I just have this my gut feeling about Michael Pittman in this matchup. I don't know. It's probably not wrong. That's probably not right.
You must be having the same gut feeling Cody's having right now. He wants to puke.
Need to flush it out. True Teller, do you like Foreman over White today? Yes.
Yes.
ET, based on this week's matchup, would you play Stevenson over Mostert? No, I'm still going to go Mostert. It's not a good matchup against the Philadelphia. Philadelphia's run defense has been excellent this year, but he's been getting involved in the passing game, so he can still get you there. Stevenson, while he had he had his best game of the year last week against the Raiders, and you can run on the Bills. Like, this is not a matchup where you can't run against the Bills. You can definitely run against the Bills. It's just his pass catching usage is not there like it was last year. Like, he was top 3 in target share among all running backs last year, and he's just not there anymore. And that's what's really hurting his upside. And their offense has been god awful, so they've been falling behind. And if he's not utilizing the passing game, it just makes him a little bit tougher to trust. And so this is a matchup where the Bills obviously can game script him out, and so where he's just not as useful as Mostert is. So I will go Mostert.
Agree.
Puro, pick 2: Freeman, Zach Moss, Akers, Dillon, Ingram, Murray, or Darrell Henderson. I'm going to go with Murray. I'm playing Latavius Murray. So with Damian Harris out now on IR, like, he saw 12 carries last week, right? And he's their goal line back. And we saw a pretty big drop for that or for James Cook in usage last week, and it feels like that they're starting to lose a little bit of faith in him. And I just think Latavius Murray, I think he could end up seeing 12 to 15 touches in this game. And so goal line work. Plus, you have Josh Allen who's banged up as well. I don't think he's going to run as much either. And so that's why I kind of like Latavius Murray.
Yeah, I'm good with Murray and Dillon here.
Yeah, I agree. Will Deontay Johnson or Curtis Samuel, PPR, and Las Vegas or Washington D?
Curtis Samuel, and Washington D.
So I'm going to go with the Raiders. I actually have the Raiders the number 2 defense this week. See if we end up regretting that. But, I mean, it's Tyson. Old teabag. Yeah. So, JR, Jameson Williams, Rice, Judy, or Downs and the flex? I'm going to go Rice. Injuries, yep.
That'll do it.
You just tell us, that's all we all do. I have a solid running back core. I've been leaning on my wide receiver for the past 3 weeks. I'm telling you, like that seems to be where it's at right now. Like if you still have solid, if you invested early at wide receiver and you have a bunch of studs at wide receiver, it really hasn't killed you because for the most part, pretty much all the running backs have been bad outside of Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of Kenneth Walker's had some really good weeks. There's been a few guys. There's some guys here and there, but for the most part, if you didn't draft heavy on running back, you've been fine this year. So yes, I think that's most people are living that life right now. And Curtis Samuel or Rashee Rice, this is going to be Curtis Samuel for me.
Yeah, I agree.
AP, what's up, AP?
That picture gets me every time, dude. I'm going to laugh every time I see that.
It is. I like it too. Pick one, full PPR, Elijah Mitchell, Jahan Dotson, or Royce Freeman.
Gross. Royce. Plug your nose and just play Royce.
I would love to say Jahan Dotson, but
I would too. Do you get points for holding kicks, field goal snaps?
I don't know if we're going to find out later in the year. Like, did he do something to piss them off or something like that? Because it's weird how he is just not seeing any sort of usage at all this year. Like, as much as he was involved, especially like in the goal line and everything else last year, I don't know. It's just. But I think I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell. I just feel like he's going to get work regardless if Christian McCaffrey's back. I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell on this one.
Interesting.
It's just if I can, I just don't really want to play if I don't have to anybody from the Rams situation. I just don't know how.
Stafford legit might throw it 50 times. Like they might not run in a ton because Pittsburgh's pass defense sucks.
Ashton, with the kicker question, let's see.
This is all you. I don't know nothing about no kickers. I know I do have Patterson and Dicker on some of my season long teams.
So
Patterson's been good.
I actually have my. I updated my kicker rankings last night. Got them all updated for the week. I'm gonna go with. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Dustin Hopkins. For the Browns.
At least they're indoors.
And a small flex last week. So all of our rankings get submitted to the Fantasy Pros. Their accuracy rankings against all like the analysts among the industry.
And you won.
And then each week they tell you like who finished among the top 10. Finished 7th among all like 160 analysts last week. So top
kickers or all positions?
All positions.
Oh,
top
nice.
7 most accurate last week.
Nice.
So. Come get some. Anyways, Cameron Kaplan with another super chat. Appreciate that as well. Ashton, Flowers, Jacoby, or Pittman?
Flowers.
I'm gonna go with Jacoby Myers here.
I think Hoyer is going to target Devontae Adams so many times that I do like Jacoby. I just like him more if Jimmy was playing.
I mean, Brian Hoyer started last week, didn't he? Yeah.
No, he came in the third quarter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Jimmy G got hurt at the end of the second half or end of the first half.
You're right.
And Hoyer was actually targeting Trey Tucker a bunch. Which there's a DFS play for you, Kev. Like he targeted Trey Tucker more than any other player.
Yeah, but the one thing I'll say is we didn't see some huge jump for Devontae Adams either once Hoyer came in. So
right, but then the whole thing of Adams took it to the media that hey, I need the ball, and so I
if you
mean
want to go Flowers, I'm okay with it. It's just Zay Flowers. He's the way they utilize him is frustrating, and he hasn't really been that good this year. I mean, honestly, outside of, I know last week, he did have 6 for 50 and a score against Tennessee, but this is a different matchup against the Lions, who Lions defense has been really good this year. And previously to that, he'd been a guy who just very low upside, I guess I should say that. So I don't know. Like if you want to go Zay, I think his floor is much
he's got a
safer.
good floor. Yeah.
But I think Jacoby, who's been phenomenal, and the Patriots just look like the Patriots for, not for signing Juju Smith-Schuster to the same exact contract that Jacoby Myers got.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
Yeah. Anyways, so appreciate that, Cameron. Yeah, let's just go. Yeah, we'll just go Flowers there. I think it's fine. Go back up to where we were. I think we were right here. Or were we right here? AP, Devonta Smith or Hollywood this week at the flex? Hollywood.
I like Hollywood a lot.
Yeah. JR, Russell Wilson or Brock Purdy? I'm going to go Brock Purdy.
Purdy.
CB. What's up, CB? Hey, guys, I keep seeing Stevenson as a must start. Should I sit James Cook or Ford? I'm going to go Ford.
I would sit James Cook for Stevenson.
I would sit, yes. I would play Ramondre over James Cook. Yes. For everything I just mentioned with James Cook, why Latavius Murray isn't a bad play this week, especially on a week where we're really hurting for options, that he's losing, his goal line, or he doesn't have a goal line role that's going to be Latavius Murray. And I just worry about him as an option. So yes, but I do like Jerome Ford quite a bit as well.
Yeah, so you like Ford. You're not sitting Ford.
Right.
Okay, because he was saying, should I start Stevenson over?
Okay, yes. I would sit James Cook. Sorry.
Yeah. So sit Cook there. Start Ford. Stevenson, Cook is the order I would go there.
Yeah, Quentin. I almost started Zach Evans. Thank God I checked the news. Yes, very smart to make sure that you checked it of all the latest news. So yeah, I am not playing Zach Evans at all.
No.
Killa with Deontay Johnson back today. Start him or Downs or Tutu. It's a super flex. So with Jimmy G out, do I start T-Bag in the flex or one of the wide receivers?
I'd start T-Bag.
I think you have to. Like it's so hard to sit a quarterback whenever, because they don't even have to, like, they can have a really bad game and still score 10, 11 fantasy points, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm playing the quarterback.
I'd go T-Bag and then Deontay over Downs and Tutu.
Yeah. Killa Quicks again over on Twitch. My other league, pick one: Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, KJ Osborne, or Jameson Williams with Ridley getting one catch for 5 yards.
Well, you need upside, so it has to be Watson after the Ridley dud.
I agree. Yep, Deshaun Watson officially active. Yep. Kareem Hunt is playing with the thigh. Yep. Would you start Rice over McLaurin because of weather? No. I think I'm still going to play McLaurin. Walito. Julio Jones is back. How are we feeling? I mean, he's 2K tonight in Showdown. I saw that. I'm already looking. I'm excited about that Showdown.
That is a fun game, but I haven't looked at that.
But yeah, he's 2K. But you know what's really tilting is that Jeff Wilson is 200.
He's going to be popular.
He's going to be extremely popular at $200.
But you almost have to play. It's like Agnew the other night.
Yeah. You have to play him. It opens up because everybody else is super expensive.
It's gonna be all about getting as many of the top guys as you can fit, because they're all going to be the ones scoring the points.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. By the way, how are we feeling about who's? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe he could see a couple of targets, but I'm not. It's not all that exciting. Aaron Jones seems like he's playing. Do we fire him? Yeah, absolutely. This is a fantastic spot. I'm playing him.
And Green Bay, like we've mentioned it a couple of times on previous shows, but Green Bay is notoriously strict about playing guys that are hurt. Like they're one of the more cautious teams about that. So if Aaron Jones does play, it has to make you feel pretty good about him playing. So
Yeah. Jerry Fort. Half PPR need one. Stevenson, Addison, or Puka.
Puka.
Yeah, I'm going Puka there. Laura and Jim. In a PPR, need 2 wide receivers in a flex. Devonta Smith, Rondell Moore, KJ Osborne, Jalen Warren, or McLaughlin. So 2 wide receivers going to be Devonta and Osborne.
Yep, agree.
And then
McLaughlin.
Flex, I'm going to go Warren. But yes, I get it. Very close between both those guys. But a full PPR, yeah, I'm fine with going Warren. But if you want to go McLaughlin, totally get that too. Seahawks or Raiders D? I'm going to go Raiders D. Like I said, I have them as the number 2 defense this week.
I also think I think Arizona Seattle is sneaky shootout potential.
Yeah. Fred, Watson or Howe?
Watson.
I'm gonna consider. I have Howe ranked higher, but that weather does concern me a little bit.
Yeah.
That they're going to be
for a guy that wants to drop back and chuck it deep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Watson there.
He's indoors, and it's a good matchup against Indy.
True Teller, Foreman or Jeff Wilson?
Foreman.
Yep. Freeman is available too. I'm still going Foreman.
Foreman.
Need one of them from RB2 spots today. Okay, yes. So I'm going to go Foreman. Alvin Kamara was an insane value in drafts. Talking about a good running back.
Yes.
He hasn't been good. That's the thing. Like, it's just been he's seen this.
But the volume is insane.
Yes, it's the captain checkdown.
Our boost
is absolutely peppering him with targets. But
I mean,
from an efficiency standpoint, he hasn't been good.
But that's why Josh Jacobs was the freaking league winner last year.
But that's all you need if you're going to see that kind of usage. Yes, yeah. Like he's been fantastic in that regards. Yep. But like he hasn't been actually good. It's just been.
I don't think Kamara's broken a tackle in 2 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could make a case that Kamara is an insane sell high. But
I don't know. That volume is insane. I wouldn't sell high on that. I'd ride that wave as long as I can.
Yeah. Raiders D or Bucks for Jerry again. I'm still going Raiders D.
Raiders.
Is DK active? We won't know, Porter. We'll have to wait until a little bit later to find that out.
Hour and a half before game time is when the inactives come out.
Seahawks or Raiders? Raiders. True Teller, back to my RB2 question. I do have Mitchell in right now, but with CMC likely to play, that's why I asked about those other guys. Do I leave Mitchell in or go with one of the other guys you suggested? Lord, True Teller. Depends on the last question you asked was Foreman or Jeff Wilson. Freeman.
Foreman.
Yeah, it's
I would go Foreman over Mitchell.
Yeah. Ken, PPR, half points per carry. McLaurin, Hunt, Downs, Wilson. I'm gonna go
McLaurin. Well, I just don't know how much Hunt's gonna play. I know he's active, but
Ken, MacArthur, Jared Goff, or Deshaun Watson. I'm gonna go Watson.
Watson.
Yeet. How y'all doing? How you doing, Yeet? My other 2 running backs are Hunt. Should I start? Oh, my other 2 running backs are Hurts, not Hunt. Should I start Brian Robinson and take a risk with Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play.
I think he is too. Man, I have Brian Robinson as a top 12 running back too. So, or I think I'm at 13. I have a high end RB2. And then I have Aaron Jones at 10.
Yeah, I guess if you don't have anybody, the risk is, that you take a 0. Yeah, I'd probably just play Robinson then. It's not worth it, but I do think Jones plays and smashes.
Yeah. Will, Latavius Murray, or this is Latavius for me, or Craig Reynolds.
Agree.
Stafford or Watson. Now this is going to be Stafford.
I'm going to go Stafford here as well.
I have to drop either Jeff Wilson or Tyler Algier, as Wilson is off IR. Who would you drop? I have Mostert if that matters. If you have to drop one of them, I'm going to drop Jeff Wilson. I mean, we have to remember Devon Achane is coming back. We're already we'll be 2 weeks through him being out, so he'll have.
If anything happens to Bijan, Algier is a league winner for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and he still sees usage, so he's still going to be, he's still
Wilson. Yeah, Wilson needs a perfect storm of Mostert hurt, Achane hurt. I mean, Algier is still going to get usage, and if anything happens to Bijan, he's the clear guy. So yeah, if you had to drop Wilson or one of the two, I'd say I'd agree. I'd drop Wilson.
Kablam 45. Should I flex Freeman or Ramondre? I'm going to go Ramondre.
Yep.
Noel, Curtis Samuel, Judy, or Jacoby?
Curtis.
I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers. Which is tough because I really like Curtis Samuel, but I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers there. Ken, Jacoby Myers, Madison, or Jonathan Taylor? This is JT.
JT.
Brandon, appreciate the super chat. Ayuk or Waddle?
That's probably the best one we've had all day. That's a tough one.
I'm going to go Ayuk, though. I have Ayuk at wide receiver 8 this week, and then I have Waddle at wide receiver 9. So it is super close there, Brandon, but I am going to go with Brandon Ayuk. We know he's the number one, where you cannot say that about Tyreek as much as about Waddle because of Tyreek. And so it doesn't really, but at the same time, it's still a very consolidated target share between really him and those two, Hill and Waddle. But with Ayuk, I don't have that same concern. And then especially with Deebo Samuel out, it really just opens things up a little bit more. And so I just can't sit Brandon Ayuk. And so, Brandon, can you tell us what the rest of your team looks like? Is there any shot? Because right now, I have Jalen Waddle at 9. So unless you have Cooper Kupp, Tyreek, AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, or Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I have all ahead of them, I'm playing Jalen Waddle over anybody else.
I agree, and I definitely think but I would side with Ayuk over Waddle here as well. I just have a rule: anytime one of those three of Kittle, Deebo, and Ayuk are out, the other two just smash. So yeah, I think Ayuk is going to crush with no Deebo. I think Kittle's going to smash as well. I do like Waddle, but yeah, I think Ayuk is I give the edge to Ayuk here.
Yeah, and Brandon, like I said, I'll keep looking here real quick, but I do appreciate the super chat, and I understand why you're asking the question because that is a tough one.
That's a tough one
to try to decide between. Let's see, Will Royce Freeman or Craig Reynolds?
Royce.
I think depending on what your matchup looks like if you're needing some, because I feel Royce Freeman could have the higher ceilings because it's possible that he could be the lead back and really see a large workload that we're just not expecting, right? And he can catch passes out of the backfield. He is obviously somebody they like. But Craig Reynolds, I feel is safer. I feel I know that he's going to see touches. It could be 8 to 10 touches here with him. And so I feel if you're looking for upside, I think it's Royce Freeman. I think if not, you go Craig Reynolds because that's a safer floor. It's kind of the way I look at it. I know that is a not a strong stance, and that's just me wavering.
They're both of this similar style play. Neither of them really have upside, I don't think. I just think Royce is, based on the coach speak, which again McVay is known to be a liar, but it seems like Royce is going to get the first crack. I know they said Henderson, but I just don't trust Henderson coming in week 7 off the couch, and seeing over 50% of the snaps. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Henderson's going to play like 25 to 30. I think Freeman's going to end up in the 50 to 60 range, and then Evans is going to get whatever's left over. That's my guess. It's not, it's not like I was given any info, but that's just my guess. So I'll go with Freeman here.
Yeah. Porter, Pickens or Rashee Rice? I'm gonna go with Pickens.
Pickens.
Tony, Rice or Hardman, PPR bye week
Rice.
challenge. I'm gonna go with Rice on this one. Though I do think Hardman is not in this conversation, but like if you were really hurting at wide receiver, Hardman is not a bad option. And I think over Hardman's last 4 games he played with the Chiefs, he averaged 18 PPR points per game. So there's that. Obviously, at different times, different situation. But
Yeah.
Ashton, would you trade Godwin and one of London Watson for Jacobs?
No.
Those are my wide receivers 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
I have Pollard and Brees as well. Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't finish reading that, but yes, if those are your 4, 5, and 6,
who would you trade? I think it'd be Godwin, and then I think it'd probably be London, just because I don't know if you're gonna be able to trust him as much on a week-to-week basis. I just feel like Christian Watson's gonna figure this thing, and they're gonna get things rolling with it.
I would, if I could, I would trade London and Watson, but
absolutely,
But I think if you're getting Jacobs, they're probably going to want Godwin in return. So yeah, I would keep Watson of those and trade Godwin, and I would sell high on London if you can. I agree. I don't think the Falcons are going to smash through the air every week, though. I am a believer in London and his talent. Like I think he's actually a good wide receiver, but I just don't trust the volume on a weekly basis. I think he's not going to have a consistent ceiling like he showed over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, Godwin in London for Jacobs sounds good with that roster.
McLaurin or Watson for Ken? I'm going to go with
this is
McLaurin.
a tough one. I have him pretty much dead even. I'll go McLaurin as well.
I have McLaurin at wide receiver 16 and Watson at 19. So
yeah, McLaurin's volume's a little safer. If you had Ridley on your team, I'd probably say I'd go Watson for the upside. But yeah, I'll go McLaurin here in a vacuum.
Yeah, rock out Love or Purdy. I'm gonna go Purdy, and then Washington or Raiders, Commanders, or Seattle D. I'm gonna go Raiders.
I'm still gonna go Washington here.
It's just with me, Tyrod Taylor is not the type of quarterback that's going to make a lot of mistakes. He's not going to throw. He's going to either if the play is not there in front of him, he's going to throw it away. He's going to tuck it
for sure.
Like that's what worries me about now. If it would have been Daniel Jones, that'd been a different conversation. But with Tyrod, he's just a very safe game managing quarterback,
Definitely.
which is what they needed last week against the Bills. He did the same thing, and I just don't think turnovers are going to be there. Sacks may not be there, and so. That's what would concern me there. And that's why I just go with the Raiders. But
yeah, I'm good with it.
Apes, pick 2. JT, Moss, McLaughlin, Freeman, Henderson. Also pick 1, Musgrave or Mayer. So it's going to be JT.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
And Musgrave over Mayer.
I want to wait and see how this is going to shake out a little bit. But I don't hate, actually, if you can, rostering both Freeman and Henderson. To seeing to give us an idea of how this could play out this week, and maybe not play them, but have them ready because one of these guys could be a really top waiver ad this week. Pick 1, Musgrave or Mayer. I'm going to go Musgrave.
Yep.
Porter, Giants or Dolphins D?
Giants, for sure.
Yeah. Truth Teller, need a flex. My other league, Christian Watson, Mike Evans, Lockett, James Williams. Also, I need to drop one of the quarterbacks this week. Who are you dropping, Williams or Tyler Lockett or Judy?
I'd drop Judy for sure.
Yeah, but you would. I don't know. You'd rather drop Judy for not Jameson Williams.
Judy's been kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie.
No doubt. And maybe he's playing. I mean, I also wonder, is he playing bad because he wants to force his way out? Is he trying to get out of there?
I mean, to be real, if this is his flex, that means he's already starting at least 2 receivers over these guys, and he's never going to start Jameson Williams or Judy over Watson, Mike Evans, or Lockett. So I don't think it really even matters.
I would drop Jameson Williams before I drop Judy. Let me put it that way.
That's fair. Yeah. As far as who to flex, probably say Lockett. Yeah,
I'm gonna go Lockett too.
Yep.
Raiders or Tampa Bay D?
Raiders.
Yep. Madison, Foreman, or Deontay Johnson at flex?
Foreman.
Yeah. I don't even want to mention him as Zach Charbonnet is out, so yes. Yeah. All of the Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he's going to smash.
Czar, Nitu, Rashee Rice, DJ Moore, or Addison?
I'm going to go Rice and Moore.
On this one, I'm going to go Addison and DJ Moore. So I get it. And then pick one, Moore, Rice, or Addison.
DJ Moore.
Yeah. Puro, Kareem Hunt, or White? I'm going to go White. Start Puka over JT and Deontay. I'm starting Puka over Deontay.
Yeah. I was thinking over JT. Definitely over Deontay, but
Brandon again. Okay, so Diggs and Keenan Allen are my 2 starters at wide receiver. Have JSN and Myers on bench. Ayuk or Waddle at the flexes is really stressing me. Okay.
Okay.
Now
yeah,
I get why you're not.
Diggs and Keenan Allen. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Let's put it this way, Brandon. Though they're both in really good spots, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think, I still lean Ayuk. His ceiling is much higher. Without Debo, it just makes so much more sense.
And it's a great matchup against Minnesota.
Great matchup. Waddle could definitely get there, but with Tyreek and that's just what concerns me a little bit there. And he's gotten so close to really starting to really break out. He just hasn't done it yet.
We scored 2 weeks in a row. He just hasn't gone over 100 yards.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go Brandon Ayuk here with everything else.
I agree.
I get it. You have well done though on building this team, because having Diggs, Keenan Allen, JSN, Myers, Ayuk, and Waddle,
phenomenal.
Yes, and I get why it would stress me out too, because I'm really, I have to sit Brandon Ayuk or Jalen Waddle, I have to sit one of these guys. And you're in a kind of a position of power, Brandon. I don't know what your running backs look like or anything, but you might look at making a trade. I'm not trading Diggs or Waddle, but Jacoby Myers, as well as he's been playing, you could look to flip him or something like that. But you're in a really strong position here with the team that you have here. So well done.
Or maybe if DK sits today and JSN has a big game, you could look to trade him.
Yeah, I think all of those things. Is something I'd be looking to do. I think we got all these. Alexis, start Puka over J. Oh no, did we already get this?
That's the one we just did. That was the last one.
That's right. Would you rather have Deontay or Sanders on the bench? I'm guessing that's Miles Sanders?
That's Miles. It has to be.
Yeah, so I would rather have Deontay. Deontay Johnson. Porter, Royce Freeman, or Rashid White? I'm going to go Rashid White. What running backs to start, Henderson or Hunt? I think you got to go Hunt here.
Hunt, yeah. If Royce Freeman's available, I'd probably drop Henderson and pick up Royce and play him. But Hunt's active, but man, the fact that he was all the beat writers were saying, he's going to test it out pregame, but it's looking grim. They pulled up a running back off the practice squad to the active roster yesterday. I just don't know how much work Hunt's going to get. But then you have the Rams situation. We don't know that either. So yeah, if it's just Henderson or Hunt, I'd go Hunt and just pray.
Yeah. Elliott, Robinson, Laporta, or Gabe Davis in the flex. I wonder what Robinson that is. So either Bijan or it's probably not Bijan. It's probably Brian Robinson.
It's probably Brian. I guess it could be Wandale.
It's
probably Brian.
Elliot, if you could let us know, just sort of right on the clarification. But if that's Brian Robinson, I'm going Brian Robinson.
Agree.
If it's not, then I probably go Laporta. I don't mind Gabe Davis, but he's so hit or miss on what to expect from him. And he really has to score a touchdown to pay off. And if he doesn't, then he's kind of so yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Weirdo, great name. Big over on Twitch. Should I start an AJ?
It is Brian. He just commented. It's Brian.
Okay,
so, yeah.
then yes, absolutely
Yes,
Brian
Brian.
Robinson. So I have like I said, I have Brian Robinson. He's almost an RB1 for me this week. Almost top 12 option. I think I have an RB13. So it is 100% Brian Robinson.
Yep, agree.
Should I start AJ Dillon, any Rams running back, or Craig Reynolds? I'm gonna go Dillon.
Dillon.
And then also Love or Goff. I'm gonna go Love.
Love.
Caleb. Pick 2, full PPR. Rashee Rice, Deontay Johnson, Deonta Foreman. So Foreman and Rice.
Agree.
Killer Quicks. Tampa Bay or Rams defense.
Ooh, that's a tougher one. I'll say Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense has actually been decent this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay too. I have them at 9th overall. So my top 12 defenses are the Bills, Raiders, Browns, 49ers, Seahawks, Saints, Commanders, Packers, Bucks, Ravens, Colts, and Jags, with the Giants right outside and the Rams right outside of that. Who do I drop to bring Aaron Jones off IR? Hunt, Moss, Pollard, or Hubbard? I don't want to drop Palmer. I'm not dropping Chuba Hubbard. I'm not dropping. You can't drop Zach. So I think it's got to be Kareem Hunt.
It's got to be Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, Kareem Hunt. CHB in the house. Rashad Penny.
Oh, God. He hasn't changed his name. Last week, me and Cody told him to change his name to Rashad Penny Guy.
It really should be. Or Rashad Penny King or something like that. I mean, that's how Walito's is Avi that he has. His his heart with DeAndre Swift and Cooks. Like that's how that came out, because he was a Cooks and Swift lover. And then I think we made a joke about he should change it to something like that, and that's what he made. So get on it, CHB, or are you really a fan? Next up, we have 2 questions with defense, Bucks or Washington. Which 3 receivers to start? DK, Christian Watson, Puka, Keenan Allen, or Pickens. So the defense is going to be the Commanders.
Yep.
And then the 3 receivers is going to be, 1, Keenan Allen is a stone cold lock. So he's not even questioning that. And then I'm going to go with DK as long as he plays, which you're going to have with all these guys. You're going to know. So it's not like we're not. So it's going to be Keenan Allen, DK, and then Puka. And then if for whatever reason DK doesn't play, I'm going to go to switch over to Christian Watson.
I think I'm going to play Watson over DK regardless, but agree on Allen and Puka.
Yeah. Andrew, start 2. Puka, Zay, or Pittman?
Puka and Zay for me.
Oh, I was thinking Zay Jones. I was like, they've already played. He didn't play this week. What? Zay Flowers. Okay.
He would have got the same amount of points as Calvin Ridley.
Almost. Yeah. But yes, first 2. Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. Brandon, appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you. Hey, this is gonna be one that I'm gonna be monitoring this week. Like, there's questions every single week that we answer that I always am like tracking to see where we finished on this, and this is gonna be one of them. So that I'm gonna be heavily thinking about this week, because that was a tough decision.
That is a tough one.
Yeah. Andrew, start 1 running back: Rashad White, Taylor, or Ford. I'm gonna go with Jerome Ford, but it's really close. I actually like Jonathan. Like I said, I like Jonathan Taylor quite a bit. So it would be really close between Taylor and Ford, but slightly lean towards Ford.
Yeah, I like Ford a lot here. The Colts did just lose their starting nose tackle. That's been a big run defender. So Ford could have a monster day.
Porter, Patrick Mahomes, Saquon, James Cook, DK, Gabe Davis, George Kittle, Josh Downs at the flex, Bucks, D, Rams kicker, bench Zay Jones, CJ Stroud, Osborne, Michael Gallup.
I think that's just his team, which is a solid
Did we
team other
ask?
than
Maybe we asked them. Maybe that's what it was. Trying to scroll up, see if I find anything. I don't remember. Jake Ferguson, McCole, Harmon, and Roshan. I don't.
let's see.
Maybe I scrolled up. They're all just questions. I didn't see anything in there that would have made me say what was the rest of your team.
Yeah, I don't see anything either.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. Well, thanks, Porter. All right. Well, hey. Unless I guess maybe another question's coming. Maybe he's just typing it all out. So I'll give him a second. SS PPR need one. Moss Palmer or Rashad White. This is going to be Palmer. Danny, Devonta Smith, Lockett, or Flowers, full PPR. I'm going to go with Devonta Smith.
I'm going Lockett again.
If DK Metcalf is out, I would go with Lockett easily. If not, I'm going Devonta Smith. Oh, whoops. Elliot, would you consider London a viable number 2? Like for this week or like rest of season? I would rather have somebody better.
He's fine, but he's going to be a little more up and down than I think you're going to want from starting a wide receiver 2 every week. He's more of he's definitely more of a flex guy for me. So like the wide receiver 3 range.
Because I mean, the first 3 weeks of the season definitely exist, right? Where he was wide receiver 110, 23, 74, and then he's kind of 23, 22, and 8 over the last, or I guess standard. But even still, it's 139, 21, 81, 31, 19, and 6 in terms of fantasy finishes. Like he's definitely been much better, but those are still within the range of possibilities. Now, if you look at the remaining schedule, they get Tampa Bay at Tennessee, Minnesota at Arizona bye week, and then Saints, Jets, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Indy, Chicago to finish out the season. So they have a pretty decent schedule.
But also at the same time that those matchups,
those aren't a lot of teams that are going to push them to throw the ball off.
Exactly. Like they could be playing from in front because Atlanta's defense has actually been solid. So they could be playing ahead against a lot of those teams to where they're not throwing as much. And like part of the reason they threw a ton last week was because they were down, multiple scores to Washington.
Okay, so you mean for this week? Okay. So then, yes, it would be London, or maybe that's just all you have. But yes, it would be London for me for sure.
Yeah, I would probably like on a regular basis, I'd be more comfortable starting Gabe over London. But this week, I'd probably say because Tampa can score. I've got no problem with that. And then Gabe's the deep ball guy, but there is, like you said, the wind issues in New England. And Josh Allen's a little banged up. So yeah, I would go London this week. And maybe Sutton somehow figures it out down the stretch. But
and Elliot, depending on like what other options you have here, like what the rest of your team looks like if and when Gabe Davis has another big week, which is going to come, another spike week, I would look to trade him for somebody that's a little more some more consistent option.
Consistency, right? Yeah. These are definitely you play these guys in matchup based. Like you're not starting one of these guys every single week, which is fine, right? Like if they're in a good matchup and each of them can definitely do well. But I definitely wouldn't have confidence just plugging them in every single week.
Yeah. TX, Stevenson or Godwin? Happy PPR. It's going to be Godwin for me.
Godwin.
Bryce, JSN, Jeff Wilson, or Deontay Johnson? I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson here.
Deontay.
If DK Metcalf plays. If DK Metcalf is out, I'm going to go JSN. Someone just dropped the Raiders D 5 minutes ago, but now on waivers can't pick up. Yeah, that's a shame. But all right. Well, I think we've reached the conclusion. Thankfully, there are no bye weeks next week. So the NFL, I don't understand what they're doing, but we went from 6 teams this week to none next week. So we're not going to have to worry about this. Hopefully, we can stay clean. We don't have a bunch of injuries today that we're going to have to parse through, but we should be back to a full slate of games next week, which should help because this week was kind of brutal a little bit. So with all the different plays we have to make today. But with that being said, hope everybody has a good week. Let's get some W's this week. If you're playing DFS, let's win some money. And we'll be back again tonight with Cody to do the week 8 waiver wire ads for next week, and should be a little bit more helpful, like I said, with no teams on bye. So, Porter, I was just telling my team, just should I start Nico? Guess that's got to be McCole Hardman overall or Josh Downs. Porter, what are we doing here? Miko.
He's in that juice Cody was in last night.
Miko Hardman or Josh Downs. Man, autocorrect there, buddy.
Josh Downs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Downs here. One day closer to Thanksgiving. Yes, the Thanksgiving slate is coming next month, so that should be exciting as well. Hopefully, we can get all the boys, Ryan and Debro, and everybody together for the Thanksgiving slate.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, always is. So I think this year's slate isn't that is
it's okay. It's all right.
It's better. I think last year's slate was awful. If I remember right. This year's looks better.
Well, it was like a bunch of hurt quarterbacks last year.
That's right. Yeah. So, anyways, all right. No worries, Porter. Just
all good, Porter.
So, all right.
Glad you're okay.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Everybody have a good week 7. Let's get some W's this week. We'll see you again tonight for the week 8 waiver wire ads. Have a good rest of the day. Enjoy some football. Eat some good food. We will see you tonight. TX. Moss or Jaleel? This is going to be Jaleel.
Jaleel.
All right. This is it. For real. Bye. See ya. We're out. Bye.